FM. Whitney Houston, If I Told You That is the song title. A very good morning to you. Once again, it is your feel-good station, and you are tuned into another insightful edition of Powering the Future, proudly brought to you, that is by the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Now, today we're talking about something that often happens behind the scene, but we bring it right into your ears, as it is absolutely essential. Information management. Have you actually heard about that? Now, you guys are there debating. Don't worry, don't debate, okay? From researchers to policymakers, access to reliable and up-to-date geoscience data helps us as Namibians make informed decisions about, our natural resources. Now, joining us in studio, I did mention we're going to be having two lovely ladies joining me, and that is Miss Martha Haludilu as well as Miss Hilya Amukwa. They are project supervisors from the Geological Surveys Information Service Division. They're actually making sure that Namibia's mineral knowledge is not only preserved, but it is accessible to you and I. That means everybody. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Good. Thank you very much. I'm very eager to hear in on this accessibility to all of us. But before we get into that part of things, can you perhaps start by telling us what the Information Service Division does and why it is so vital to the work of the Geological Survey?
Thank you so much for having us.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Information Service Division, it plays a pivotal or very important role within the geoscientific space.
Yeah.
So we are basically the custodians of all geoscientific information.
Mm-hmm.
We are responsible for collecting, organizing, preserving, and disseminating of this geological data.
Mm-hmm.
And we make it accessible to all of our stakeholders, mining companies, the government, to the academians, consultants. So what we do basically is we just make sure that this information is well accessible to all these interested parties. And we make it easy for them, I guess. We bring information basically to their doorstep.
Nice. That means no stress for you because they are taking care of the stress to make it less stressful for you. I want to get into the management of this scientific information. So how does managing scientific information support exploration, policymaking, and even investment decisions in the mining and energy sectors?
So the scientific information is the foundation of informed decision-making in the mining industry.
Okay.
And like my colleague said, we are the custodian of Namibia's geoscience knowledge. So therefore, we help inform decisions in our resource management and also our natural resource management and also economic development. So for exploration, for example, accurate geological data helps companies reduce risk, plan field trips accurately. And we do this we have historical data that we are custodians of at the ministry. And this is information basically that is submitted by companies that already did exploration data, explorations in those areas. So this information is available to future prospecting customers or clients that want to come in and do it. And if we have this information, then it helps reduce costs for them because it's available and it's already pre-work that has been done for them. And then for our policy makers, because this historical data also has technical reports that has recommendations from clients and so forth. So this information also helps really inform in our policy amendments and act amendments because we need to make sure that our policies speak to the people that we are serving. So if our policies are protecting our Namibian clients, for example, that are interested in exploring and also making sure that when international parties come in, they are also, it's a mutual beneficial relationship so that it makes Namibia attractive as an investment country for mining. Yes.
Well, in case you just thought it was one side of things, it includes exploration, policy making, as well as investment, as broken down there by Miss Martha Haludilu, who, of course, now we got a little bit into, the work they do. But also, let's talk about the digital age. So there's this digital transformation happening. How is the Earth Science Library adapting to this?
Well, we can start off with saying that the work is a lot because we have a lot of exploration companies. We have a lot of people that are now in the mining industry, in the energy industry, and obviously these people need information on a day-to-day basis. So we now, like I said, we now bring this information to their doorstep. So we do have certain online platforms whereby we try every single day of our lives. We're trying to bring this information, to them. So we have online databases that are accessible to our clients. So, and every day we are updating and digitizing our geological data, the historical data. So the transformation is going well. So far, so good. I don't think we have any major hiccups, especially with our clients.
Nice.
And also we need to remember that we don't only serve Namibians, or, we serve on a larger scale as well. We do serve our international clients as well. And obviously, these people are not here. They are not on ground. So they would need this type of data and information accessible to them wherever they are in the world. So we are trying our utmost best. We are really, really trying to give this information, or provide this data to our clients by digitizing it. And also, it's a good way for us to preserve our historical data. So but it's so far so good.
All right. Well, that's Miss Hilya Amukwa, who's of course sharing in on the digital transformation and how the Earth Science Library is adopting. She mentioned something in terms of serving quite a number of people, but I think for that particular one, we're going to be having Miss Martha Haludilu, who will then touch on what kind of people actually use this service. But get some water. We'll be back.
Namibia's mining sector is the backbone of our economy, driving development and creating opportunities across the nation. The Department of Mines ensures the responsible and optimal utilization of our rich mineral resources, integrating mining with other sectors for a sustainable future. From securing mineral rights to ensuring mine safety and environmental responsibility, we support every scale of mining operation while promoting socio-economic growth. Harnessing our resources, powering our future.
I'm here, Shante. This is the crossover, and we are, of course, on another insightful edition of Powering the Future, proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. And today we are talking about something that often happens behind the scene, but is absolutely essential. We're looking at information management. And the two ladies joining us today is Miss Martha Haludilu as well as Miss Hilya Amukwa. They are project supervisors from the Geological Survey's Information Service Division. Now, they make sure that Namibia's mineral knowledge is not only preserved, we're not just keeping it, but we also are, you and I, as, the public, also have access to that which they're preserving. Earlier we got to start in on chatting about what the Information Service Division does, why it is so vital to the work, of the Geological Survey. We also got in on the digital transformation and how that's, affecting, or how the Earth Science Library is actually adapting with that particular transformation. But right now, I want us to get into the kind of service that you offer. What kind of people use your service? Researchers to students, and also, how do you support them in accessing the right information?
So, like my colleague said, we serve a vast, diverse clientele. So we have, obviously, like you mentioned, we have students, researchers, geologists, and then we also have our exploration companies and potential investors as well. So basically what we do is we just make sure that we give our information is up to date and that it's accessible to them. And also those that maybe don't know where to start, then they can come to us and we can also point them where the starting point is when it comes to wanting to get into the exploration field. And we also we support academic institutions as well. We subscribe to numerous open source platforms, and if they're doing their researches and they need information, they can come to us and access those information through us. And then we also just we assist in giving research assistance as well for people that are into research and maybe they're doing their research on different geological aspects in Namibia, and then they can also just come to us. So we also give research support as well.
Okay. Yeah. So why is it important for Namibia to preserve and archive geological data? And just an extension to that, how does this help us build a more sustainable and knowledge-driven resource sector?
Okay, so interesting thing about geology is the older it is, the better it is.
Come on.
For us to preserve this data, it's a long-term investment in national development.
Okay.
For starters, and then also we need to remember that this information is not only expensive, but it's also time-consuming to collect.
Yeah.
But it becomes more valuable over time, like I mentioned, especially as technology advances and new applications are emerging. So the older the data, the better the data, because then you know what was there before you are there. For example, I can give a certain example of, let's say somebody was mining copper, like 20 years back, and then 20 years later you want to, mine the same mineral. So it's very important to know what was there and where it was collected, for example. Then that's how the information is important when it's archived, because then at least you have a background of whatever it is that you're interested in that certain area.
Okay.
And it's also just preserving the geological data. It's not just about maintaining a historical record.
Yeah.
It's about safeguarding the scientific foundation of our natural resources, our development. And in terms of sustainability, having a well-documented and accessible geoscience archive, it supports responsible resource use, better risk management, and informed policy making. So it ultimately contributes to building a knowledge-based economy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I do know that there's a whole lot of work that's waiting for you back at the office. I'd like to keep you here all day, but that doesn't seem like it's going to be happening. But thank you so much for joining us today and, of course, sharing in on information management. I think from this particular point in time, we can also say that, as you have highlighted, Ms. Martha, is that, I think to an extent we might have thought that this just means maintaining it. But you, of course, have extended that from us noticing and realizing that, it's not just maintaining. That's just one part. There's a greater part of safeguarding it, which is an even bigger part of things. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Ooh, we got twins. Nonetheless, it is 99 FM. Thank you for tuning into, that is the... this very insightful edition of Powering the Future, proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Next week, same time, same place.
Feel good on 99 FM.